Amber's back, but her dad got sick, got ill, and they had to do it. So then she said she would. Originally she was going to. And Mary Jo was just telling Brad, your check and his couldn't get processed because the program, the boys program acted up. Get it, probably be able to get it fixed somehow with support tomorrow.
I'm going to just hand this to you to put over there on her, see if she wants to mail it to me.
Sure.
May have my address. Just in case.
Everything's working properly on the live stream.
All right, let's call the meeting. Oh, I got the laptop. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Start with call to order. Brad Bender, here. John Post, here. Jeff Walker,
Here.
Amber Fields, like I said, is not here. Mary Jo Bender,
Yes.
Brad Cage,
Here.
Steve Pennycuff. We'll start with approval of the February 12th minutes. Sent out. Has had a chance to go over them this afternoon. Okay, here's one printed, if you need one.
I'd like to read it too.
Okay.
Here in the agendas.
Is it in there, Joe?
What?
Did you say they have one in there?
No, she was just telling.
Okay, here's one I printed.
No.
The minutes.
Okay. We were just gonna read through
Yeah, that was the only one I had.
Just go ahead and read it out loud.
Can do that if you want.
it. Okay.
Okay. Will do. All right. Minutes of the regular meeting, February 12, 2026. Town of Vernon Council meeting adjourned in Gym, 29 Washington Street, Vernon, Indiana, 4722 was called to order by Mayor Brad Bender at 6:30 p.m. Town officials, employees present, call to order, all present. Marshall is still vacant. Approval of minutes. Mayor Bender asked if any comments, corrections, January 2026, revised November 13th, council minutes, recommend approval. Amber made a motion to approve. November 2025 minutes, January 2026, Jeff second, 3 yes votes, 0 no. Petitions or comments by the members of the public present. Steve Harding wants to present the original map box from the school to the Alumni Museum. Jeff Walker made a motion to accept the item, and for the Water Center Alumni Room, Field seconded, all in favor, all in favor. Also accepted was the $75,000 grant from the James County Community Foundation for the bathroom renovation. Reports from committees and officers. John Post, Council Ward 1, discussed a street light that was non-operational, has contacted Duke about it. John also wondered if the surplus generator could be used to run the Commons lift station when it loses power. Jeff Walker, Council Ward 2, Spring Tonic on April 25th. We'll be running at 8 a.m. Think of any sponsors or people who'd like to be interested in helping. The Active Transportation Committee is interested in linking the entities of North Vernon and Vernon by a pedestrian trail sidewalk. NDOT would be interested in scoping this if we are interested. Amber motion to send a letter of support from Vernon for a project of this type. John second, all in favor. Amber Field, sidewalk is knocked out close to Matt Robinson's house. Mary Jo Bender, reports are in folders. Brad Cage, attorney, asked about 2 resolutions, fire and sidewalk. Fire resolution has been signed, and sidewalk resolution is on the books. Steve Pennicup, fire chief, asked about a big enough launch ramp for the rescue boat. Mayor Bender said the railroad is actively trying to build a ramp at the Commons as part of the, says reclamation, as part of reconstruction. He also asked about a lockbox for the building so they don't have to wait on anyone from Scipio. Someone wants to use our streets for vendors of a show. He was advised to have her come to the meeting and ask for permission. Susan Harding suggested a collaboration of sorts as they are interested in the Labor Day market to be brought back this year. They will talk, and he advised they ended the year with over $23,000 in fundraisers, but almost that much in repairs. Unfinished business. Next local trails in the closeout phase that need additional requests and information. Over sewer project, paperwork did not come in until yesterday. SERC approved extension until March 31st, 2026. Also brought in pay apps 3 and 4 at the last minute. Council acted on pay app 3 for $176,484.60 to submit to OPRA. Amber motion to approve change order 2 for times extension. Post seconded, all in favor. Post motion to approve pay app 3, Amber seconded, all in favor. New equipment is working as it should. Adoption of new sewer rate ordinance. Amber motion to suspend the rules and consider the ordinance on the first reading. Jeff seconded the motion, all in favor. Post motion to adopt the ordinance on first reading. Jeff seconded. Jeff amended the motion to adopt to include the effective date of April 1st, 2026. Amber seconded the motion, 3 yes votes, all in favor. Amber motion to begin the water rate cost of living adjustment on April 1st. John seconded the motion. All in favor. Xylem tree insurance payment has not been received. Brad Cage will follow up tomorrow and ask for it to be mailed to him and care of the town. SS4A consultants were received in January. Mayor Bender preferred the firm of Tool and would like to move forward with them as far as they can be kept in budget. Jeff motion to proceed with negotiations with Tool with the stipulation that they stay within our budget. John second, all in favor. New business, open house, very successful. Foundation presented the town with $75,000 grant for bathroom renovations. Town will begin the process of getting this improvement implemented. Jeff is now looking at grants to get a warming kitchen. Everybody was very happy to open the house, especially when they received one of the grant. Police truck was discussed and Marshall position was discussed as someone inquired about running in the next election. Chief Pennicup inquired about using the truck and just switching out some of the equipment. Would it have to have appraisal and intake bids? Was opening to trade out the truck for a new mower. Can't do a lateral transfer as they are separate entities. All marshals heretofore have been advised to tread lightly. Our only recourse in controlling their duties is to restrict the pay and what equipment they can use. There have never been any problems in all the years up to this point. We'll need a new mower soon. Need to start looking for something better than what we have now. The tractor is not really needed so much, but it's paid off and does get used occasionally. The Yard Park flower, Mikey took it to repair. Tarp house is going to show cause. Odd Fellows building was discussed. We may have to contact Indiana Landmarks as to its fate. 91 and 95 Jackson has been idle for well over a year or more. Mobley's old house on Pike Street. Owners wanting to make apartment in the back, or it was only once only a garage. It may be on the horizon for rezone. Park Board 5-year plan has to be submitted to DNR by April 15th. Claims. John made a motion to approve claims. Jeff Walker seconded the motion. 3 yes votes, 0 no votes. Miscellaneous business, permitting requirements, send firm our right-of-way ordinance. Pickleball will be billed at the same rates as are in our ordinance. SERC appointment, Amber wants to decline as she was not able to attend any meetings last year. Leave the position open for now. Jeff motion to appoint Post to the area plan as the Vernon representative. Jeff seconded, 2 yes votes, 1 abstain. Ron Hendershot was present to ask about the lift stations being online, as built, etc. Adjournment. John, motion to adjourn at 7:44 PM. Jeff, second. 3 yes votes, 0 no votes. Next regular meeting for the town council will be Thursday, March 12th, Vernon Gym, 29 Washington, Vernon, Indiana, 47282. The regular meeting will begin at 6:30 PM.
Very well done.
End of minutes.
You know, years ago, the clerk
I know, I've been to those kind of meetings.
read the minutes for years.
I make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction of the word reconstruction instead of reclamation.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Here, 2-0.
They took the term reading in the minutes very literally.
I know, I've been to a lot of those.
Yeah.
It's speed reading, speed reading.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been approved. Petitions or comments by the members of the public present. Anybody sign up? I can't see from here, nobody
I
did.
don't think so.
Steve? Okay. Unfinished business, the Trails Grant. They told me that they're satisfied with all the paperwork and they're in the process of getting the final accounting and checks to us. But I haven't seen them yet. Trails Grant, Trails Project. Okay. They accepted all the paperwork, they're in the process of doing the final accounting and sending us final checks. Okay, Okra CDBG sewer project. I have tonight the final change order, the final 2 pay apps, so that we can get that part closed out. I was hoping to get these sooner in the week, but went back and forth on some things, got them today. The final change order is for an add of $10,436.54. The biggest part of that was there was a tremendous amount more of rock at Ripley Street than what we originally anticipated. But to offset that as best we could, we had a number of deducts. One of the big things at Perry Street, instead of moving the whole thing out, we just cut the top off and backfilled it. We left the rest of it in place. The site restoration, the grading and seeding around the station, we need to do. There were some non-BABA valves. BABA is Build America. Can't remember the rest of it. But anyway, by allowing us to use ones that came from foreign sources, we saved $6,000. And also saved 6 months. And then some traps, and then we did put new rails in Water Street because we couldn't, because they don't make brackets for the pumps that we have anymore, and if we ever do change them out, we'd have to change out the brand new rails that they came into. So left that in place, ended up with a total add of $10,436.54, brings the final contract to $652,782.54. And that, we need a motion to accept that, and that will close out that part of the project.
I make a motion to accept the final change order for $10,436.54.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And then we have their final pay apps, which is the, would be progress payment 4, and then the retained payment 5. And the reason we're doing both these now is because the grant closes on March 31st. We get these to Okra, and then everything is done on time. Okra's been slow to get the money back, but that's not all. Okay, so pay app number 4 is in the amount of $58,141.62. Make a motion to accept that. $58,141.62.
I make a motion to accept pay app number 4 for $58,141.62.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then payout 5 is retainage, release of retainage in the amount of $42,754.93.
That 42,754.93.
Yes, that's retainage.
Okay. I make a motion to accept, or the retainage payment of $42,754.93.
Okay. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's retained. Okay, thank you. That gets everything taken care of on that as far as paperwork. They still have some punch list items to do, but by and large, I'll get the as-bills, those padlocks, spare parts, anything if we need to get them here to show anything at all. Trying to remember off the top of my head, but we have to get all that done by the end of March. So, Ron, if we do want to do a little walk through with them, we can do it.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right, the SS4A grant, Tool talked to Jeff and I, and then they since then have talked to me and had some emails back and forth. Originally, the grants were $125,000. The town said they wanted to keep the match down to about half instead of $25,000, $12,500. We told them that in our meetings, but they came back with that we could do a lot more of this with in-kind and with a goal that anything above 12.5 can be in-kind, and maybe we can keep it below 12.5 monetary contribution because we can do more in-kind and have a full-size project. So they're working on the paperwork for now, but they gave me talking points regarding it, and went over with Jeff and I. One thing they can do is spend more time with NDOT now, spend more time on the report, more time on the site visits, expand the scope, and still keep us within budget. The way we do it by in-kind is there's parts of it that we can get compensated for the hours at the standard rate she had for Indiana right now is $31.05 per hour per person. When we have summer interns and they take crosswalks and put up signs, we can count that, but not at the higher rate, but at the rate that we pay. If we use this room, since we already have a posted rate for this room, use the things, we can get that as income. So she had a lot of good ideas. The one we talked to, Angie, actually, I think wrote a big section of this when she worked for Vernon. So I think it's the way to go. We can keep a good, big project without costing the town any more money and maybe even less money. So I don't have an agreement in front of me yet, but as soon as we get it, I think, I don't know if we need a separate motion to sign the agreement when it comes in or not.
Probably, yeah.
Probably should, okay. And then I'd like a motion that when it comes in hopefully in the next day or two. Because this all transpired in just the last week.
Yeah. I make a motion to give Brad approval to sign an agreement contingent on the budget requirements of the last meeting being met.
When they say that we like to count our interns, but not at the $31, you know,
Right.
like what we pay.
What we
Is
pay.
it actually what we're gonna pay them, or would it be actually what they,
I think it'd be,
because I mean. if
The
we
wage
get
that
the
they
thing,
make.
but you know what I'm saying?
yeah, would it be what we pay him or the?
It's true, yeah, that is true out of pocket. If we buy new stop signs, we can invoice stop signs.
What?
Well,
True,
what I'm saying is like for the interns pay wise, because
If we pay him $7.50 an hour and then they get another $7.50 in the matching for program from the state? Is it based on their wage or based on what we contribute?
That's a good question.
My guess would be it's based on their wage, but we'd have to confirm that.
She did say if they were paid out of federal dollars, we can't count that.
Well, this is a state, well, we'd have to confirm that that's a state program.
So
not a
if
federal
you know
program.
it's a state program, it still might have.
The federal dollars, yeah.
But she did say if anything is paid out of federal dollars, we can't.
Count that.
I
Okay.
mean, we can still, I mean, still.
But that's fine, and they're gonna document all this. We've gotta do some groundwork, and they asked me to contact, like, the fire department about how many accident calls and things like that, because the cost that they put into responding to calls will be in contribution.
And I would say too, I had a chance after Brad met with them to look through this in a very detailed list of all these ideas of how to do the in-kind. I think regardless of what we are able to count for the interns, we'll probably be okay on.
No, I'm just.
Yeah.
But those were the other examples they brought, the health department.
Yeah.
If they do things that are safety related, like if they give out car seats or something like that, that counts as in-kind contribution towards it.
It was wild.
It was, but 911. But again, we gotta do the groundwork to get the information. So, and he,
You mean the money that we bill for our responses, or?
Yep. yes, that's considered in-kind to the safety problem.
So what would you need as far as, you just need like our billing schedule of what we charge?
I'll have to look at what she said. I mean, first we gotta start with how many calls you do. And they don't have to be within the town only. Because you are based in town,
Our coverage area.
your coverage area counts because you come and go through
Hmm.
the safety plan.
Wow.
I'll get a list.
Well, we got our, I mean, we can give you an exact dollar amount of what we bill too, based off the financial software we use.
It's not that it's gonna matter that much, but it's just,
Yeah, we want to make sure we lock in the right things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're gonna take care of a lot of that. That's what, that helps a lot. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
All right, thank you. And she sent me a list, I'll get with you when we get closer, because I'm sure they'll have other things they want us to do as well. Park Board 5-year plan, I was not there today.
On Monday night, the park board met, and most of the content of their meeting was talking through the feedback that the Indiana Department of Natural Resources had given them on the first draft that had been created last year. So I think Wayne is taking charge of working through that document to address those comments and add anything that needs to be added to that document or make any edits regarding different concerns the state had about like how the plan documents what the community wants and how they share about how the engagement was done. And then I'm trying to think, that was most of the meeting. I had made another comment with them that I'll bring up later, but I think Wayne's moving forward on getting that 5-year plan ready, and they're gonna have another meeting relatively soon to make sure they've got that in a row, and then they'll be presenting it in the near future so that it's ready to go by the deadline for submission.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when they're meeting, and, because I did a few things that I already had sent to it.
Yeah. It might be good to talk with Matt or Wayne about the date, because I can't remember off the top of my head, and I didn't write it down.
Good. Gym restrooms, drawings went to the state today already, so the schedule is gonna move along. I can, maybe next week, actually, get them out in front of contractors and give them plenty of time to look at them and get a pre-bid set up. I sent everybody a schedule. This week or last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna keep that moving. We need to badly because the women's were shut down. And I didn't know if we were gonna get it back up. Because when it flooded soccer restrooms.
It backed up.
It backed up. Yes.
Okay, the warming kitchen, Jeff?
Yes, I have been in touch with two gentlemen from the Subaru of Indiana Automotive Foundation, SIA. They do grants for capital expenditures across the state of Indiana each spring and each fall. And I spoke with a gentleman named John Schwartz, and he said that everything that we have included in a budget for working on a warming kitchen to replace what's in the old school kitchen here, everything that Brad set up in a budget would be eligible for their grant opportunities. So I'm putting that together right now. The due date is the 31st of the month, so I'll be getting that submitted in the next few weeks here. The general concept is something that Brad had drafted and has carving out part of that old kitchen space if you've been in there, so that we have some more storage space here in the building. And then it would just have a simple kitchen setup with a table or countertop and a 3-bay sink and oven and stove and refrigerator so that it can handle minor events or other limited needs that people might have. We're not talking like a full commercial kitchen or anything, but that would allow the space to be used as a small kitchen for any events and things like that. So the budget would be, I think you had budgeted line items that totaled 14,800, and or maybe it was a little over.
It was around 17.
17. Because the grant is for 15,000, and then the town's
So we
proposing in kind.
are in common contribution.
Yeah, and most of that comes from demolition work. Yeah.
Is the oven and stove and all that, is that gonna be in compliance
I talked
with
to,
the new?
yes, I talked to Nancy at Board of Health. We're not doing a commercial kitchen, and we want to be real sure that everybody understands. You can't do anything out of this that is for sale.
Right.
You can't do any deep frying. She did recommend we put in a grease trap, which we do under the sun. But it's like a church where somebody has the same kind of system we're going to be under. But it's not commercial. You do not have to go under all those new laws of having somebody trained. Because I went over that with her before.
I guess whenever we rent that out, we want to make sure everyone knows that.
We can't rent it separately, but if they rent the gym and stage, it can be part of it. And again, the idea is just it's there instead of setting food out on there.
Yeah.
We have a refrigerator. The idea is to supplement and not turn it into something where they prepare food.
Just want to-
Yep. And the drawings that we just sent to the state for the restrooms included that at the same time, because even though we may not build it at the same time, it's got to be permitted. So the permit, when we get it, takes care of everything.
So the town would have a match, or it could be in?
It would be an in-kind match of demo work, basically, getting the space ready to do the renovation.
It was demo and something else. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Sponsored materials and fixtures.
Yeah, just finishing.
Finding some sponsors.
Yeah. But the grants for 15,000 would cover the vast majority of what the project would entail. The in-kind donation is mostly just to show that the town's committed to the project and wants to support it as well. And so I will say this grant is fairly competitive, but I've talked with both the folks that help with the SIA Foundation operations for Subaru of Indiana a couple different times. So I'm just hopeful that the fact that we've expressed interest as a town and they know we're working on the gym and have known that for over a year, maybe helps us a little. But I'm sure they'll score it however the rubric says they should. Yeah.
Oddfellows Building. Had a meeting with Historic Landmarks 2 weeks ago to kind of, down at the Historical Society, to try to reach out and see what's going on with it, because it's been sitting empty, obviously, for quite a while. and left that meeting with the idea that we would just maybe pursue a grant for a feasibility study to help make some determinations of how it can be used, and what can be done, what kind of costs, some of the other factors with it. And then, less than a week later, Historic Landmarks came back and asked to meet again, and wanted us to partner with 8 other museums for the READY grant that is out right now, which is like $60 million statewide. And a big part of it is a Lilly portion dealing with arts and culture. Long story short, they asked us to join in for a grant that would, the museum would receive enough money to buy the building and to get started on a large chunk of what it needs to take.
Wow.
And a separate application went in for the feasibility studies. So we don't know what the odds are at this point, but we've joined this collaborative effort with these other museums, and I think it's a very, very strong application for arts and culture. And there may be some real big development there. I know.
What kind of uses, I mean, has that been discussed with the Historical Society?
There's been so many things thrown around, and I said the feasibility study has to address some of that. My personal opinion is there needs to be some income producing property going on. We can't just take on something that has to.
So, but this is being done through the Historical Society, correct?
Yes, they are the applicant, and they were the ones that were asked to join in. But Historic Landmarks is actually taking a lot of the information, they're doing the application. So it's not like we even have to work too much with the application, just kind of provide information.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So it could be a really good thing. Could be.
Absolutely.
Food trucks, first and last is starting to do food trucks in their lot on Tuesdays, they said. I think, well, next is, it's St. Patrick's Day next Tuesday. And I mean, they're gonna have the place open for the bar, but they're wanting food trucks to set up and get the word out for people around town, but also throughout the county. That there's gonna be food trucks available, a place to come get some. Starting next week. It's gonna stay on Tuesdays.
Oh, it's going to be on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Tuesdays. She didn't say for how long. I think they're wanting to see how long it's gonna work and what kind of crowds they get. There's a lot of restaurants, I guess, are closing. So I know it's gonna get promoted in other papers, but asked that I bring that up. And then also, at some point, we do a ribbon cutting for her because her cook and go operation down at the corner is licensed now and up and running and ready to really start. It's the only one in this part of the state. And she acted like it's really gonna be busy. It's gonna, because that's a part of the same.
Well, that's why I was bringing up this, because I knew, well, of course, I know people that do catering too. It's
Yeah.
like, you
It's
know,
a big, it's a
they know
big
this
change.
is going on.
Yep.
I won't mention some comments I heard about the law and stuff.
Oh, I know.
About the-
But that's why she is set up for it, because these food trucks have to have a place where they can check in, they can do their prep, they can take care of the waste, all kind, I mean, just, you name it. And this is the only one in this part of the state, so it's expected to be busy.
That's awesome.
So, if there's a ribbon cutting, I'll let everybody know. Because it's the newest business in town. Spring cleaning, spring cleanup. Mary Jo, I don't know if you said, well, Judy Malone mentioned it to me that you'd said that we were gonna do it, so I guess we need to, if
It's
we're
just
going
not,
to do it.
we do it every year.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
we have every year I've been here, so I just assumed it was something that we did every year.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up and get a date set, because get a date set.
Yeah. It's usually either 2 Saturdays or 1 Saturday before Sassafras, right?
Yeah, usually.
That would be,
Sassafras, I had it on
what,
the
25th?
agenda too, April 24th, 25th.
April either 11th or 18th. Does anybody? Wanna do it the week before Sassafras?
Well, I want to make sure we, after we get it done, that we clean up what we cleaned up. Because you've got the run here.
That'll be the 25th.
Right. So I don't know if we want
Why
to do
don't
it
we
just
do
a
it
week
right
before.
after?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
That's why
I do 2 weeks.
I do it 2 weeks because sometimes they have trouble coming and get containers.
That's why I'm saying.
And it gives us the extra week to,
Yep.
if something happens.
That's Charlie's birthday party.
Oh, does that mean he doesn't get to come to spring
That
cleaning?
means that we don't get to come to spring cleaning.
Usually it's in the morning until
Yeah, like 10
noon or 1.
Okay. April 11th. Okay, yeah, then I'm not sure who orders the dumpster.
Amber does, we will.
And we'll need to get the word out. And that is actually 2 days after the next town.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay? Then yes, Sassafras Festival is April 24th and 25th, like always. I guess on their behalf, I need to ask that we close streets. Happy to. I think all we've been doing is Pine Street from
Brown.
Brownwood.
Yeah.
That's been our biggest, because we still like this. So on their behalf, I will ask them to do that.
I'll make a motion to close Brown, or Pike Street between Brown and
I'll second that motion.
Motion second, all in favor? Okay, thank you. And then another big event that's going to be coming up is May the 16th, and it's called Vernon Moves. The health department is putting on a county-wide health fair, if you will, based here in Vernon with things around the courthouse, here at the gym, Commons, the trail. I think I brought my flyer on it. Courthouse lawn, all kinds of things all day going on. It sounded like it was going to really be pretty good size. I was thinking they're going to start the big marketing push here this week.
It's gonna be really busy that day, because that's our first craft show, and it's already sold out.
It's awesome.
It's already sold out. Wow.
Well,
It's part of the health fair? No.
No, we scheduled it, and then like 2 weeks after we scheduled it and started posting it, Pam called me and she's like, hey, we was gonna do a thing that day, and I'm like, well, good. That might bring more people into our craft show.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we're supposed to be going down to the Commons and doing some kind of water safety class about kayaking and canoeing.
Awesome.
I'm not looking forward to that, but.
That's great, though.
did not turn over the earbuds.
Yeah. Don't hit a bridge.
Well, good. Well, yeah, like I said, I wanted to bring it up so everybody knows, and again, I think that will be just right after, our May meeting.
Yeah, the active transportation committee is gonna have some things going on with that too.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Okay, miscellaneous business. We need to still determine on the marshal's truck what we want to do.
I guess Steve had talked to Larry Greathouse.
Yeah, so I talked to Larry and asked him how the city does, because I know the cities gave the police department vehicles to the fire department, and fire department vehicles to other places. Larry said as long as it's going to another organization, it's fine. And he also said this, if the truck was bought with the lid or whatever it's called, if it was bought with those funds, it would be fine too, because we're still public safety and that's what those have to be spent on. So I don't know.
I don't have any reason to doubt that. Brad and I briefly talked about it. Neither one of us really knew that, but I don't have any reason to doubt. I mean, I guess for the council's decision, you either decide to do that, and I did a little bit of research. We don't have to have it appraised, but if we want to try to sell it, given its value, you either have to sell it at public auction that is advertised, or you have to advertise for sealed bids by a certain date and a time, and then you have to take the highest, and I think it says most responsible bid. So those are your choices.
But if we only want to sell it to another municipality because of its use, its design, if you will,
I don't think I think you can do that. That's what they call,
without having to go through that.
yeah.
Because I see stuff online.
There's something, and the.
I would say if you're gonna sell it at a public auction, you're gonna have to strip it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't, that's what,
And
As an organization, we have a license for the radio, but like private individuals, they can't go get a license for those radios.
no, I know that.
it's called like intergovernmental.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
something like that.
I see it on top,
Yeah.
older fire trucks.
Yeah, that's different.
things all the
That's
time.
different. So that's a third option.
Okay. I would think it has to be that option because of the radio. Yeah, we don't want to strip it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was made.
Well, and even if you advertise for sealed bids, you have to do the same thing too.
Right.
So,
I don't think we want to strip it.
so it's either give it to the fire department or try to come up, with some buyer from another governmental entity. Would be,
You said you'd have to change the lights and things out at $12,000.
We'll just reprogram them. I think, if I remember correctly, and I talked to Brett and asked him too, he said if he remembers correctly, those are programmable lights that can have the color change now to either blue, red, or white. All we would have to do is change the blue to white. Because we have to either have all red or red and white.
I would kind of recommend maybe tabling this until Amber's here,
Okay.
and you have a full council. I would think possibly,
Yeah, I'll make.
to decide that. Since we
Yeah.
know what the options are, and she can see them in a minute,
So it's
so.
also, I like to think about, okay, if we get rid of this truck, and chances are we're gonna have a marshal, some arm or another. Are we gonna provide them with a vehicle where they at least can patrol,
My thought on the marshal position is it needs to almost just become ceremony. So what you want to supply and how much of a budget you want to set is up. My opinion, with the liability that is out there at this point in time, I don't think you want to.
I mean, I know what you're saying, Brad.
Oh, I know.
have no problems with that, but I don't know if we have that authority. We probably have the authority to say, okay, this is your budget,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we have the authority to,
Tell them what to do.
I agree.
rein
I
in
do
this.
But all you can do is by reining in the budget.
Yeah,
I do too.
so I mean,
That's all, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
All you can do is by reining in the budget and not supplying much
yeah,
is, you are in effect. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean,
that's just something to think about.
I know, I agree. But yeah, the budget's the only thing you can control.
So,
Okay. Well, this motion to table, is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, we talked about a mower. See, that was my thought. We could sell the truck to pay for a mower. But I don't know if we can use those funds then to do that.
I don't know the answer to that.
Doesn't sound like. I guess that's something we need to figure out.
That'd be a question for the state and legal council probably, for their, you know, their representative.
Okay. Well, we have a quote with 3 options from D&J in North Vernon. Don't know if I should read it aloud because if we probably have to get somebody else too, but I don't know anybody who's in the county anymore.
Well, I don't think there's anybody.
I would say that's the only local mower place in
Yeah.
Jennings County.
That's what I thought.
I think we still should do some kind of due diligence, at least get a couple from out, you know, I mean, Madison or Greensboro or someplace, Seymour, that's fairly close.
I might need to ask a bit about what a couple of these are, for sure.
What do you wanna know?
But, well, not right now, but I mean, I will. And then, there's a trade in here that's a pretty good trade, I think. But again, I don't want to divulge this because we'll ask for some other quotes. So we can put them all together at one time. Okay, thank you. Interns, I assume we want to do that again. Trish Spear with the high school is looking into the Earn Indiana program because that's kind of what she deals with anyway in the business, and that's who Calvin is working through as her class. So, she told me, she texted me today that she's attending something here today or two. So anyway, that will help us with what paperwork we got to get to.
Great. Yeah, I remember when I was reading through it last spring that there being a requirement for someone from the school to meet with the folks who run the program. So that's probably what Trish has to do in the next couple of days.
And that way we're getting the 50%. Last year we did.
And if, I mean, you worked with Luke and
Omar and Luke, and Omar wants to come back. I'm not sure if Luke does.
Omar had reached out to me to share that both of them would be interested in applying for a position again.
Okay.
Yeah.
so, I mean, if they done all right, which I'm assuming they did,
Yeah.
that, I mean, they kind of know the way, you know.
Okay. I mean, let me get a hold of them and see how many hours they want to do. We could,
I mean, if they qualify now, you know, everything.
That was
Plus they are seniors, right?
That was one thing we'll want to confirm with Trish when she talks with the state folks, because I couldn't tell from their website if their status changes after this summer, since they're still technically students when they'd be applying,
that's right.
or if it's earlier because they're seniors. So it might be something to talk with her about, just confirm.
Well, because if they're not going to college, they may not be eligible.
Yes, but I don't know if that changes if they're still in school right now when they apply. But yeah, if they're not.
If they're applying to school, it's fine.
Yeah, yes.
But if they're not, that may change things again.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Let me work on it because I assume we want two, I mean, one person could do a lot. We had two for safety as much as anything. So if we end up with one, I think the work can still get done. Okay, let me work on that. Okay, reports from committees and officers. I have a couple, okay, well, hold on before I get to that. Brad, I don't want to miss this. We have an ordinance to sign, which is the rate ordinance for wastewater. And I guess all we have to do is sign it.
There are only two signature lines on there.
Okay.
I intended to have the council members sign it also.
Okay.
So I would ask Jeff and John to go ahead and just sign down there underneath your name, and then we can have Amber do it sometime too, since we voted for it, but there's no line. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is consistent with what was advertised and what was passed last month, that says it passed on February 12th and takes effect on April 1st.
Okay. And it doesn't require a motion, because it's.
No, that's already been passed.
Just need to make sure to sign it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget about that. A couple other quick things. I went to an AIM meeting, and I'm trying to research this Senate Enrolled Act 1 that's changing everything for everybody as far as funding for counties, cities, fire. And so I'm trying to learn what I can, so I can help pass on the word, maybe give it to the county. Because it's, nobody quite knows what it's going to be. It's very good. Right? Okay, the gym's been busy and continues to get busy between parties and basketball. Open gym nights, we've had 3 or 4 nights, 3 nights, I guess, so far. Last night, Carrie was here and sat in. We would keep it kind of log. We had 33 people, I think, in here last night.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I know, it's doing well, but what I do need to ask is that we get a sign-up sheet and get everybody to take a night. And between Park Board and us, maybe we can get some other people. You don't have to do it once in 2 months or 3. So I want to get a sign-up sheet going on that. The game room's open now. I don't know if you guys went back there and looked yet, but it's open all the time, we decided. Because that way it's being used when people have parties and stuff, and so far everything's been working well. And that's everything I have, so, John, on to you.
On the house down here, it's got the tarp on it across from the Crossley Museum. I don't know exactly what the address is and stuff.
33,
What is it?
33, 33 Poplar. Yeah.
Okay, 33 Poplar Street. I talked with the building inspector today, because I noticed it hadn't been on the show cause hearings and things. And what he did was, he went and talked to him back in December. Okay, and he actually called me back because he wanted to go over his notes, what he told him and things. And he said what he had told him was that, you know, he said he's going to get done before Christmas. Of course, the building inspector knew that wasn't going to happen because of stuff, you know, everything had to be done. But I guess they gave him, or he did, gave him until the end of March. Okay. And he says, of course, he's been, you know, here and there, putting a board or 2 up. So, anyway, he's got till the end of this month. So that's the update on that.
Well, I asked Marie the same thing, and heard the same thing. Asked her to be sure that she puts it on a show cause, so it was on hay day. It's been over 3 years.
The house at 119 Pike Street. That's the one that is Morse, is that his name?
Yeah, more construction.
And I don't know, the more I think about that, I don't like the idea of that being split up. I mean, this is just for discussion here. Is splitting that lot at all. I think the garage, I mean, if they want to make it into some kind of guest house where if somebody's living in the main house and somebody comes to visit, that's one thing. But as far as actually a separate rental property with the parking and stuff, parking issues we've had down there before, I mean, just my opinion on these things. I just wanted to bring it up.
Well, I met with him, pulled the maps and showed where water and sewer was at. and then told him some of his options. Got him more information about hook-ons. He wanted a double hook onto the meter. Number of things, but and told him, you know, if he wanted to divide it off, had to go through BZA. If he wanted to set it up as a separate rental connected to the existing house, then there's rezoning, and still had to go to area plan. And then he started getting costs, and he wanted to know why the town wouldn't pay some of the costs to do the hook-ons. And long and short, I haven't heard back from him since.
Well,
So,
it's just,
as far as I know, he hasn't applied
yeah,
to area plan to go farther, but
well, if he,
that's all I
I guess if he wants to keep it all on property, it'd have to be rezoned for multifamily. So that would actually have to come to us.
That would,
So if he wants to separate it off, it just has to go to BZA. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that.
well, that's, I am too, and, yeah, I tried to explain it, and he didn't like the answers to the questions.
You know, these contractors don't seem to like the answers whenever you tell them that these are the connection fees and that. Anyway,
Yep, I know, I got an earful about
Brad, did you talk to North Vernon about the capacity fee? Have they changed any rates on that? Did you know about that?
it. No, I haven't heard.
Whenever you do a tap into the sewer, North Vernon charges a capacity fee one
Right,
time.
yeah, it's 600,
And They go up, it may have been up, that's why I said you may want to call in and make sure that hasn't been adjusted.
okay.
We ain't done taps.
I used what we did we did one last year, it was $683.
Okay.
And, but yeah, I had thought if they raise the rates, they have to send us a notice, just like.
Okay.
So yeah, but I've got theirs, but he didn't like our numbers. And I told him that our numbers are actually low.
Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
Good. Jeff?
Yeah, I don't have too much. I just wanted to, let's see, a couple of updates on my end. Just to keep you all in the loop, the Active Transportation Committee has someone who's going to approach the county commissioners and the North Vernon City Council for letters of support in the next couple of weeks about a connection between the communities and having NDOT go ahead and scope out what that might look like. So they're working on getting the rest of those letters together, and then I'm helping with a template letter that they also want to take to the Madison Railroad to see if they'd like to provide a letter of support, since it would potentially reduce the number of people that walk along the railroad tracks if there were to be some kind of pedestrian connection along the state highway. So a couple of folks have offered to approach the Madison Railroad about that as well from the Active Transportation Committee and see if they'd be interested in supporting that. So that's the update there. Spring Tonic Walk and Run is April 25th. Can we count on you all for spaghetti dinner this year?
I actually just talked to your wife about that today.
Oh, you saw her out walking?
No, she called me. I tried to call yesterday because I was trying to figure out if you guys was doing it again.
Yes.
She said yes, and so you want us to do a spaghetti dinner the 24th, the night before again?
If you all would like to. I don't want to twist your arm, but if you think it's valuable, yeah.
Our vice president's asked me 4 times in the last week. So,
Yes.
I said I will find out in the meeting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put
Yeah.
that down as, we'll do that.
Perfect. Yeah, and we have the first couple of sponsors committed for that. I'm approaching others in the next week to make sure we've got the funding side. But with the 2 lead sponsors that we have, we're already above water on any costs we do for timing and stuff like that. So it'll be a good fundraiser again this year for the restrooms. The next thing, I brought this up at Park Board, just a small note, but I want to give him credit, a young man down the street from us, Wyatt Madden, is in the Boy Scout troop here in town and needs some volunteer hours. So he is going to be doing 6 hours of volunteer work to help clear up debris and sticks and other things at the Vernon Commons and the Arts and History Park. And I'll be working with him to sign off on those hours and make sure he's done the work that he's offering to do. He was going to talk with Josh Shaw when their troop met today about whether it would just be him or if he might ask some of the other scouts to join him for some of the volunteer work. So, but just wanted to mention that out loud. He had approached me about opportunities, and that was something that we came up with at the park board meeting. And then the other thing I wanted to share, you all probably remember us talking about the Historical Society applied to host the Smithsonian exhibit called Voices and Votes that will be starting at the end of this year after the Thanksgiving holiday, and that will be open in Travis Shepard's building downtown through the beginning of January or middle part of January, and that's a focus on just the whole enterprise of democracy in America as a celebration of the 250th. It's going to be a traveling exhibit that starts, I think, this month in Hale. They're bringing the exhibit through 7 different communities around the state. And we'll be hosting that at the end of the year. But as part of that, that committee has been asked by the folks who do the exhibit to have 3 events before the exhibit opens to help share about different stories in the community related to democracy. And so I've been talking to them about potentially doing something in the fall, so here in town, and then the rest of the activities they're talking about doing in North Vernon or other parts of the county to kind of spread the word outside of just town. So I wanted to ask if you all set your date for that fall bazaar that you talked about, and if there is a way to partner with the fire department on having an activity that same day. You mentioned last meeting about
Doing a craft show?
Yeah, in October or September.
I don't know, your wife was supposed to get a hold of Allison about doing something with the Labor Day stuff for that, so I don't know
Okay.
if she did yet, I couldn't tell you, she was anything.
Okay, well, I bring that up because since they wanted to do something here in town in the fall, I thought maybe that would be another opportunity to say we've got this thing going on while there's another event going on. I don't know exactly what that will look like. Some ideas we've talked about is a scavenger hunt around the courthouse, having some folks available to register people who'd like to sign up to vote if we do it early enough in the fall. And then also maybe doing some kind of speech competition for high school social studies and English classes or something along those lines. But I don't have any real details, just wanted to share that that's something I'm involved in planning right now for later this year. And I think that's everything I wanted to go over. That's all the notes I made.
Okay, can I ask you again, what's the name of the thing that's gonna be held at Travis's?
Yeah, the Smithsonian exhibit. Yeah, Voices and Votes. Yeah, there'll be some pre-designed exhibits that they'll have traveling, and then the Historical Society and the Planning Committee for this group is putting together a final exhibit that will talk about the history of voting and democracy in Jennings County. So it'll be a neat way to talk about the town's history as well.
Okay, Amber's not here, but I know if she was wanting to bring forth that dog work that she talked about.
She's not until next month.
No, I know, but I'm just telling her, she would have brought it tonight if she'd been here. Okay, Mary Jo?
I did earlier and I forgot it already.
Nothing.
Steve? Petticoat.
So the spring tonic, which we just talked about, which one of you applied for the Community Foundation grant?
The restroom.
Yeah.
I was involved in that discussion.
Okay.
So I've been talking to Kelly for like the last 3 weeks
Okay.
about doing one for the firehouse. She sent me the link like 4 times and we can't get it to work. Is there any way I can get with you that you try to help me get the application? We can't get it open.
I don't know how to answer had multiple people try it?
Yeah, we've tried it from 3 different computers, and it's wanting us to request permission through a Drive document, and we hit request, and then.
No one approves that request?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go with them somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, you might ask if Kelly can print it off, or how it, what other ways it can be submitted, because I'm not familiar, the way that we spoke about the restroom grant and how that process happened was different. So I don't know what's going on with this system that you're talking about. But
I know when you go to their grant website, there's one for classroom grants and one
Yeah.
for community outreach or whatever.
Mhm.
And when you click on it, it wants you to request permission, and then you request permission, and then we get nothing. And she's like, I've approved it 3 times, but we don't have it.
You might have to go to her in person and get a hard copy or another way to submit it.
Only other thing, we got a couple fundraisers coming up. May 30th, May 16th is the first craft show. May 30th, we're doing a golf scramble. It's 200 team, and then we're also taking hole sponsors. It's $100 to sponsor a hole if anybody's interested in that. We
Is
have
the tournament at Wailusi again?
Yeah, that'll be up at Wailusi again. Our first fundraiser is actually this Saturday, so hopefully it goes good. That's our gun raffle that we're doing.
No?
And then the only other thing I got is I wanted to thank you all again for the help with the generator. Beely's has got it down here, and according to them, it should be hooked up within the next week and everything finished up.
Awesome.
But with the little bit of extra help that you all gave us, it ended up, it only cost the fire department like $42. That was for the concrete and everything, so I just wanted to thank you all again for that.
Question back to the sponsor, can the town be a sponsor for something like that, fall scramble?
See why not?
Because it seems like to me, the county commissioners wanted to sponsor something like that one time.
Really?
Yeah, and there was some kind of deal with using tax funds to.
I know Roger Taylor sponsors it every year as the Vernon Township trustee, but he always pays it out of his pocket. I don't know if it's.
What if you would use it out of the
The city had
gift fund or something?
well, the city always had a fund that they could use for
Yeah,
general things and sponsorships, and I just didn't know.
because Mary Jo, that gift fund's not regulated, is it?
I don't know.
I think that's funded from the town, isn't it?
I have never actually, as long as I've been here,
All I know.
I don't think I've ever seen any money spent from the gift fund. You know,
Well, there has been, I think, but it's because some of it was put in there for, like Benny Barber had something that he got from kind of.
but I mean money spent out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, he
Yeah.
actually put it in there for
Yeah.
specific. Like,
Yeah, it was earmarked.
Yeah, like for, playground equipment or something, so,
John might have a point.
and,
I've never been asked that, so I don't know.
All right, well,
There's $8,000.
I'm just asking because, I mean, it would make sense that we could be a sponsor.
and it might be that,
I
you know,
mean,
the county didn't have a specific.
I'm okay with just adding the town of Vernon to our sponsorship banner with as much as you guys help us out, just kind of throw your name out there some more.
And yeah, we appreciate that, but I'm thinking, I mean, you might not be the only one that asks at some point for something, or something. So it's something maybe I don't know what they do, but yeah, I mean, we like what you do. All right, Ron?
All right, the Commons lift station.
Yeah.
You asked me to look into if we could use that generator there. No, that is what I thought, that's a 3-phase.
That is 3-phase.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so that's out. We worked on the float issue today, actually. Come to find out, one of the floats, the weight had fell off of it, and it wouldn't allow it to operate properly. So, Bailey Electric replaced the float today, and everything should work. We'll find out the next Rainstorm. The rainstorm's been killed in alarms, so. Yeah. The SCADA system for the new.
That's part of what I still, yes, that's part of
Yes,
the punch.
I've got in contact with Terry and found out that those SCADA systems were purchased through, I guess with this package, they purchased all this through, and it was, I think it's OmniSource. I've got a phone number to contact them and find out. He's telling me that we have to use them as our login, their site to log into to look at those two lift stations, which is gonna make it separate from our water tower and our commons. Doesn't make sense because it's mission. So I'm waiting for information back to see if this is true or not. And, I'll talk to Mission too, I haven't called them yet. But to find out if we can, I don't see why we can't just with the ID numbers off them, call Mission and say, hey, this is your equipment, activated, put it on our account.
Well, yeah, that was the intent.
Yeah.
Not
That's
that
why
third party.
That's why it was spec permission, so it went with full head.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with that too, I think I've asked this before, I don't think our mission account's paid up yet either. I'm still getting the error whenever I log in, it says the account's not paid.
Who does it come through? I've never,
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the water tower thing?
It's the SCADA system, so it's gonna be for the water tower.
I don't remember ever, but I mean, like, we paid something on the water tower maintenance. Is that
No,
separate?
no, that's different, that's totally separate.
I don't ever recall receiving any kind of invoices or bills from anything called state.
Okay,
Ever.
it'd be from mission, it would be from
I've
mission.
never seen any mission that I can think of either.
Okay,
I
I'll
mean,
send,
Amber pays a lot of bills there too, but
yeah,
I don't.
I'll send an email to them, make sure they got the right information to send that.
Okay, that may be the problem. I don't recall ever seeing the ledger.
I mean, it's just, if it's something that would maybe be like every so many, is it every year or every 3 years?
I think it's every
It'd
year.
probably be a year.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember seeing that.
The one good thing I did find out when I talked to them last is they said, they won't shut us off, but
That's good.
I get that big banner on there and I gotta wait 60 seconds for it to go away before I can do anything. Brad, remember, the issue we had on, Sally's house? I can't remember the address, the one on the corner of, Washington and, Pike Street, had the water flowing. I drove by there when the snow started melting. I found the end point and the lid, laying on the ground where the snow plow pushed it up into that pile.
Oh.
So I put that in the shop down here.
Okay, good.
Other than that, that's all I've got.
Okay, Steve, anything? All right. Anything else to come for the good of the order?
Get claims.
Well, that's what I was getting to, claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll say.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
One more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. 7:46, an hour and 15 minutes.
Well, the minutes had to be read, so that was.
Well, that.
There was 15 minutes.
That was.
You've been in an hour.
I sat through those for years.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, you getting it? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
All right, yeah.